Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Wayfarer Ways. You know, when you travel sometimes, we tend to go fast. We get off the plane, we get the hotel, and we go see the sights, and we take the photos, and we tick off the boxes, and that's it. Then we get on the plane and go back home, but we never really experienced the place. We never got to see the actual aspect of what it might be like to live there. Now, slow travel, on the other hand, takes you off that fast track, and it allows you kind of slow down and see the cafes, see the streets, smell the smells, hear the sounds. It gives you more of an immersive experience with the place that you're living. Now, for me, I've been here in Kampot for just over a month now, and this river right by me here, I started to notice the rhythm of life that is around this river. And because of that, I feel like I'm getting more of an immersive experience into what Kampot life is really like. The people, the food, the overall just experience of how people view life here. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about why I choose this form of travel called slow travel, and maybe it can inspire you to do something yourself similarly when you're in the next place that you're visiting also. When you slow down, that's when the world really starts to reveal itself to you in really cool little ways. Like, for instance, if you go for that morning walk and you see the way that the sun glistens off the water at that time of the day, or you go by those certain cafes and you smell those cafe smells, or also if you go by those certain food stalls here in Kampot, those outdoor sidewalk food stalls, you see the routine and the people there. It's those little details like that that really make a place come alive. For instance, when I actually slow down here in Kampot, the little things start pulling me in. Like this cafe with the yellow walls and that Bukowski painting on the side. I've walked past it a dozen times, but recently I noticed how the paint is sun faded in a way that makes it feel like it's been watching the town for years. Or this tree I came across with a tiny Buddha shrine built into it. I would have missed it completely if I were moving fast, but when you stop and actually look, it feels like it's a part of the street's rhythm. Moments like that remind me that most of what makes a place special isn't loud or obvious. It's tucked into corners, quietly waiting for you to notice. And even the simple things around me, a dog stretching in the sun, a street vendor arranging fruit, or people driving across a bridge on the way to work, start to feel like little stories happening right in front of me. Because slow travel is about letting the ordinary feel alive and taking the time to let those moments settle in. And it's also about listening. It's about listening to the sounds around you, like really deeply listening, really intentional listening to the city, listening to the people, listening to yourself, because it's those sounds that when you start paying attention can really bring the story together of the place that you're at. And slow travel is not just about going slowly, it's also about paying attention to the life that is around you and that is inside of you too. For instance, when I start going slowly, it allows my brain to catch up with my body. Some of the ordinary life I see around me makes me look up and say, hey, check this out. Like the guy riding through town on that motorbike stacked with his wares. Or the girl setting up a tiny cafe in the morning, unfolding chairs one by one while the street is still waking up. None of it's dramatic, but it's real. It feels like the heartbeat of the place, the stuff you miss completely when you're moving too fast. Then there are the other rhythms you barely notice until you slow down, like the early morning food stalls, a guy tending a grill with smoke rising into the warm air while a family waits for its breakfast. These moments don't shout, they just happen quietly every day, and they tell you more about a place than any landmark ever could. Even something as simple as the seahorse fountain by the river, the water spraying out with the mountains behind it, feels different when you stop and actually watch it for a minute. And it's also about noticing your own rhythms, how you see things, how you react to things, how you pay attention to things. Because it's not just about how you see a place differently, but it's also about how you see yourself differently in that place. These moments and clusters of time are always there. And in Kampot recently, I have been seeing so many cool moments that help to define this place. Like late one afternoon, it started raining. And I wasn't rushing anywhere, but I just sat outside my guest house, letting the drops fall and listening to the soft patter. Nothing remarkable to anyone else, but for that moment, it felt like time had slowed and I was breathing along with it. And while waiting for my lunch at my local street vendor, I noticed the bikes drifting by and people moving along the streets, living their lives. My own bike stood quietly in the foreground, while the town around me pulsed its gentle, everyday way. It wasn't dramatic, but it was happening. Then there's the little bookstore I love. Just standing outside of it as they opened gave me a calm and a thrill that this place was in an old French colonial building built long ago by people who are not here anymore. And again, on another early morning walk, I passed the Durian roundabout. Bikes circled, people passed, and cars moved steadily. I just stood there for a minute watching. It was ordinary, but that ordinary rhythm, the waking heartbeat of Kampot, is really what I am here for. These small quiet moments, the rain, the rhythm of the street, the calm of the bookstore, the flow of the roundabout, are what slow travel is really about. And you notice it by letting life unfold, letting it leave a mark, and carrying it with you long after the day ends, and even long after you have left. So slow travel has changed the way I move through the world now. It's not so much about the checklists and the landmarks and the photos, although I do still do those things, of course, but it's more about the actual life of the place that I'm visiting. And so therefore I now decide to slow down, to pay attention more, and to let just let the story of the streets and the people and the moments that I'm living in really give me a feel of the place that I'm at and the depth of what I'm experiencing. And so you can do that with anything. You just have to look around, and there are so many things that will just pop out if you really pay attention, and you'll notice the nuances of life that is happening and the meanings that they're all connected to. And that doesn't necessarily have to be either when you're traveling. I mean, that could be where you're living or where you're going out of town for the weekend. I mean, it doesn't have to be an international thing we're talking about here. It could be your daily routine of going out too. So if you do that, then I think it just gives you more breadth and meaning to your life and your everyday experiences, which is personally what I'm looking for. But you will also find more of the heart of the place. And in doing that, I think you'll probably find out a bit more about yourself too, you know? So anyway, that's my video for today. Thank you so much for visiting the channel. If you'd like to help support the channel of Wayfarer Ways, there are ways that you could do so down below. You can like, you can subscribe. There are other ways to help support in the description area too. And if you'd like to watch the next video, then click on the link that is above my head somewhere, and that'll take you right there too. But in the meantime, from Kampot in Cambodia, thank you again for watching the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.